here at the Cerrito Canyon Park, and it's a beautiful day. It's really quiet and serene, and temperature is wonderful. It's not hot, it's not cold, and I want to talk to you about a little about stress management. Now, we all have stress in our lives, and it's probably number one killer next to heart attacks, which stress sometimes can cause the heart attacks. I was visiting one of our friends yesterday. My wife and I were visiting her in the hospital. Uh, she is a lady in her 50s. She just on Monday had a heart attack and she didn't even know it. She lives a very high stress life. Her job is stressful, her life is stressful, and for a number of different reasons, from the work environment, take that and going into the finances in their lives and the overall life situation with the kids and everything else. And she suffered a heart attack. That, among other health issues. I mean, heart conditions are hereditary in her family. In addition to that, she's a little overweight. Number of different reasons that goes on, but part of it, the great part of it, was stress in her life. So it's important for us to be able to manage our stress in our lives, and some people just don't know how to do it. A lot of people who have stress, they go to the doctor, they get some sort of a medication, a pill or whatever. But in all reality, we have to manage the stress other than just trying to deal with it psychologically, with possibly, if you need it, get professional help. But there are other ways you can manage the stress. First of all, you have to identify and realize the fact that you have stress in your life, and we all do to some level, at one level or the other. Some people have less of it, but you can tell that people are really stressed out today. I mean, just look at the way people drive on the highway. They cut in front of you, they honk their horn, they're in a hurry, they're in a rush, and they're being discourteous. Even in public, when they're walking around, you can tell some people are stressed out. Some people are so stressed out that you can tell that they're talking to themselves and they're walking around and they don't have one of these things on. You know they're not on the phone. So managing stress is important. It's very important to your health, to your physical health, as well as your mental health. Stress can lead to depression, can lead to a lot of different mental conditions. Some people who come back from people in the military, veterans, they're dealing with post-traumatic stress syndrome, PTSD. People in law enforcement, in firefighters, in emergency services, they're dealing with a lot of the stress and the work-related stress. And some of these things take years with proper professional help to manage it. But a lot of us on a regular basis can manage our stress our own way. We're using various tools and techniques. And there's a lot of material out there, and I encourage you to look into it. Some of them are not so credible, but there's a lot of good information out there regarding managing stress. I encourage you to, if you are feeling the stress, to look into that and to try to manage it. Now, I can only speak from my own experiences. I can't tell you what works for you. I can't give you professional advice. I am not a stress management specialist. I am not a therapist or anything like that. I can tell you what works for me. What works for me is finding a nice, calm environment like this here. You can hear the birds chirping. You can hear it's a beautiful weather. It's nice, quiet area. And I sometimes come into places like this and I just sit down and think, close my eyes, listen to the sounds, breathe deep, take nice deep breaths. You take a nice deep breath in, hold it, and slowly exhale through the mouth. Now, when you breathe in, you take a nice deep breath for about 3 to 5 seconds. You hold it for about 3 seconds, and you exhale for about, slowly, it should take you about 10 seconds to exhale. If you don't have a large lung capacity, or you haven't been doing a lot of deep breathing, it may take a little shorter time to exhale because you're not taking deep enough of a breath. I have actually noticed that I take my blood pressure and right before I start the process, and then I take my blood pressure afterwards, and I have noticed a noticeable difference in blood pressure. Stress can raise your blood pressure, and it can, be cause of hypertension. I've measured it. For me, it works this way. I listen to calming music. There are a number of different apps for telephones for stress management, and they have calming music, calming melodies, sometimes the sounds of the ocean, sounds of the rain. I have found all of those things to work really well for me. Sometimes, if you're really stressed out about a particular subject, try talking to a friend. And I mean a friend that cares. Not everybody, I have this philosophy that, there are friendships and there are different levels, okay? You have friendships that are basically, you start at the bottom. There are people who are acquaintances, people who maybe you're casually friends with, who maybe have at work, whatever, and then it gradually goes up the chain all the way up to people who you really confide in about some of the most intimate situation, thoughts that you may have in your life, issues that you may have, be it from family problems to personal issues that you may be talking to those people with. And depending on what's stressing you out, I guess you seek out somebody who you can sit down and talk to. Stress, unfortunately, can lead to a lot of different things, including developing bad habits, such as drinking, smoking, using recreational, what they call it, recreational drugs. I'm just going to go ahead and say drugs, gambling, and so on. Those are all those are avenues that a lot of people find to have a release from stress in, and they want to forget about things that goes on in life. But unfortunately, if you try to forget those things, they don't go away. They will always creep back in. So the best way to deal with the stresses those things cause is by trying to resolve those issues. To resolve those issues, you need to calm, collected thoughts, and you need to talk to people who can help you, whether it be friends or professionals. So I encourage you to find a way to manage your stress, deal with those stresses, talk to professionals if you need to. Don't just let it sit there and simmer like a kettle on a fire, because eventually the water will evaporate and you're going to end up with a burnt kettle, so to say. And the last thing you want is for you to be that burnt kettle. You want all these stress, you want to manage these stresses and get them out of your system and deal with them and take care of them. That I hope you find this helpful. I hope it was of value to you. If there was, like my video, and leave your comments, good or bad. Whether you liked it, you disliked it, you found it useful, didn't find it useful, it doesn't matter. It's okay. It's not what I put out here is not for everybody, but not everybody is going to appreciate it. I hope it was useful to you. Until next video, have a great day.